Allow me to share with you my recent trip in Quezon City in the province of Bukidnon of Mindanao Islands in the Philippines. The purpose of this trip is to equip pastors and ministry leaders in two different subjects, and that is in inductive Bible study method and in evangelisms and discipleship. We were glad because we received a positive and good feedbacks and reviews from the participants. They promise to bring more people, and they want us to get back again here in the same city next year, where we are blessed to have those kind of feedback. Meanwhile, I'm on board ferry heading to Negros Island in Dumaguete City, to be specific, and that is coming from Mindanao Island. It's a quiet hours, or it's quiet long journey that we had since this morning. We got up around 4 a.m., took the bus ride around 4:30, and we got here in the Quezon City in like 16 hours after. We transit in Dipolog City and transfer to another bus and another terminals to get to this city of Dapitan. Allow me also to share with you a short devotions about the judgment of God. I've been studying eschatology, and that is about study of the end times, and that is written biblically. Actually, this is written in the book of Genesis, and there is a relations with a futuristic event where God promised and confirmed it through the prophetical book, and that is the book of Daniel, the book of Ezekiel, the book of Isaiah, the book of Jeremiah as well. Book of Genesis actually speaks about the judgment of God towards the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. If you remember the story of Lot and his family that is being preserved, and they are going to a different city because God's about to judge Sodom and Gomorrah. The story behind that is that God and two angels visited this land and being welcomed by the host, and that is Abraham. Eventually, at the last part of that chapter, Abraham bargaining with God, if ever there is any 50 righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah, will he spare from judging that cities, all the way until 10 persons. If ever there are any 10 persons, 10 righteous persons found in Sodom and Gomorrah, will God judge? And God still says, no, I will not judge. In other words, there are less than 10 people that God hear their prayer or their cry and causes him to judge Sodom and Gomorrah. The story begins in the book of Genesis chapter 18, verse 20. And the Lord said, because the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grave. Now, the first reason why God judged Sodom and Gomorrah is because somebody is praying about it. Somebody has been surrounded by citizens that trespass their moral standards, or trespasses their human rights standards. Number two, he was being treated just like they treated the rest of the human being with their misconduct. However, the number two reason is that their wickedness never ceases. Now, there are several other scriptures that is mentioned about Sodom and Gomorrah and why did God judge about it. Number one is written in the book of Isaiah chapter 13, where the beauty, the excellency of the Babylon Empire, or the nation of Babylon, will be overthrown just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Why? Because that's God's standard of judging Babylon, and eventually Babylon is also part of the prophecy where Babylonian Empire will capture the southern kingdom of Israel. Number two, it's written in the book of Jeremiah chapter 23, where the prophets in Jerusalem committed adultery, and they supported the evildoers, and they never preached the message of repentance. And this is the attitudes like the people or every citizens that lives in Sodom and Gomorrah. In the New Testament, however, book of Matthew chapter 10 is also mentioning about those cities who will not accept the disciples of Jesus will be punished greater than Sodom and Gomorrah. These cities must accept Jesus' disciples and hear his words, or else they will be overthrown, just like the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. Another New Testament gospel that is written about Sodom and Gomorrah is written in the book of Luke chapter 17, where the unexpected moment will happen, where God will judge the entire universe unexpectedly, where people will do their daily trading, daily chores, and daily activities. All of a sudden, God's judgment just come in unexpected moments. The book of 2 Peter chapter 2 is also speaking about the conditions of the people, the citizens of Sodom and Gomorrah. That is, they are wicked and committed wrongdoing. Book of Jude verse 7 also mentioned that the citizens of Sodom and Gomorrah also committed fornications. So is there any faith lesson that we can learn from this verse alone? Yes. Number one is that when we were surrounded by the wrongdoers, we were surrounded by people who are practicing or are trespassing the moral rights or being immoral, eventually you are being oppressed because of their attitudes. You need to lift them up in prayer because God hears the outcry of his children. Number two, allow God to judge, and God will take measures in every judgment that he prepared for them. It's not for us to revenge or take judgment. It's only God will do it on behalf of us. And I hope these short devotions and these live applications will be applicable and cause your faith to grow bigger, to grow stronger, and cause your walk to be closer to him. God bless you all. Sending love from ferry on board to Dumaguete City.